Our first movement today is isometric. With isometric, there's three things to keep in mind. The length is fixed, the muscle does not shorten, and the load is greater than the force. There is Sam demonstrating what an isometric movement looks like. When a muscle attempts to move a load that is greater than the force generated by the muscle contracts isometrically. In this type of contraction, the muscle stays at a fixed length. Isometric itself means the same length. As you can see, her arms only go to a certain height before the load of the little baby hamsters are too great for her to push up any higher. Another type of isometric contractions is leg lifts. Here Sam will be demonstrating what a leg lift is. An isometric contraction is where a muscle contracts against the resistance of something without significant shortening of muscle fibers. Here Sam is demonstrating the raising of her legs. Her legs are able to raise so high until she can't go any more because the weight of her legs cannot be overcome by the force she's expressing. Here, as she does these, we can see what muscles she's using. Muscles include her hamstrings, her abs, and her gluteus maximus. Another muscle contraction is isotonic concentric contractions. When a muscle attempts to move a load that is equal to or less than the force generated by the muscle contracts isotonically. In this type of contraction, the muscle shortens during a period of time in which the force generated by the muscle remains constant. Isotonic itself means same tension. Here, Sam is doing arm curls that are showing that the force she's generating is great enough to pick up the hamsters, which are the load, and as her arms are up, the force is equal to the load, which means she's able to hold it there. This is known as the positive phase. When her arms are up in that position, the muscles are shortened, and that is what an isotonic concentric contraction is. There are many common exercises that demonstrate isotonic concentric contractions. One of these exercises includes running up a hill or climbing stairs, as Sam will demonstrate for us. In this movement, her quadriceps contract concentrically. Concentric contractions are common to many sports in which you need to generate a lot of power or explosive force. Here we can see the power of Sam's quadriceps and legs in general are strong enough to climb each step gradually, but end up getting to the top. Yay. Isotonic contractions generate force by changing the length of the muscle and can be concentric or eccentric. Before we spoke about concentric, but now we're going to talk about isotonic eccentric muscle contractions. So in this case, the muscle elongates, it works against the contraction, and it deals with the flexion of muscles. So like before, we had the bicep curls. So here Sam is just going to again demonstrate that as her arms go up. That was the bicep curl. But as she flexes her muscle, it's the flexion of the triceps. So that would just be one example of an isotonic eccentric contraction. Another example would be doing a squat. So as Sam goes down, it's contracting of her leg muscles, but as she comes up, that's where it gets eccentric because her muscles are elongating and it's the flexion that is being demonstrated. Now we're going to talk about type 1 muscle fibers. Type 1 muscle fibers deal with slow twitches. They basically work on stability, posture, and endurance. Here we have Sam. Sam is going to be performing a plank for us. In this plank, she's demonstrating how she's not really working on her muscles to be able to become stronger, but basically being able to endure the weight of her body for a certain period of time. Here she's demonstrating or using her abdominal muscles for this type 1 muscle fiber slow twitch. Yes. Basically, these are fibers that contain a lot of mitochondria, and they are small fibers, and they're also red, and they're slow oxidative fibers. So there you go for type 1. The next muscle fiber that we're talking about is type 2A muscle fibers. They deal with muscle mass, muscle strength, and they occur at a moderate speed, and they're referred to as a fast twitch. Type 2A fibers are fast oxidative fibers that are used during more sustained power activities, such as velocity, and are more resistant to fatigue than type 2B muscle fibers. They have a good number of mitochondria, and they can use both fat stores and glycogen stores for energy. They're resistant to fatigue and recover quickly. They're good for fast, repetitive, low-intensity activities. Sam is pretending to be a bodybuilder, and bodybuilders possess high numbers of type 2A muscle fibers, and they suggest that this plays a big role in muscle size. Sam is doing a bench press. With those hamsters going up, she's using her triceps, her biceps, and her pectorals. And here she's showing how those muscle fibers help muscle mass and strengthen her upper body strength overall. Another type 2A muscle fiber exercise would be doing push-ups. As Sam does her push-up, she's using a combination of the anterior deltoid, her pectorals, and her biceps. During this, those type 2A muscle fibers are working as a fast twitch. Now we're going to be talking about type 2B fibers. Type 2B fibers are fast twitching fibers or fast glycolytic fibers. They're also known as type 2X. They're recruited for very short duration, high intensity bursts of power, such as maximal lifts and sprinting. Here, Sam is going to be demonstrating for us what a Russian twist is. During her Russian twist, she's using very fast twitches, and it's very powerful. Her movements are quick, and her fatiguing is going to occur really quickly because she's working so hard. Type 2B fibers show a low mitochondria level, and they're good for high-intensity, high-power output activities. And something really cool about them is that with training, they're able to switch between type 2B and type 2A, which can really come in helpful for certain activities. Our last muscle contraction is dealing with isokinetic contractions. An isokinetic contraction is where you're maintaining constant torque or tension as your muscles shorten or lengthen. Here, Swathi's on a bike. She's demonstrating how, regardless of the tension, she has a constant speed. Because an isokinetic muscle contraction is where you're pertaining to a concentric or eccentric contraction that occurs at a set speed against a force or maximum resistance produced at all points in the range of motion. Here, her motion is full 360 circular with her legs. And there you have it, kids.
No, keep it.
That's going in at the end. Wow, those muscles were real good.
Stay tuned for next time.
Bye, Swathi Organsi, Sam Chumley, and Julia Rainio, our workout video.